beloveds, and peace be with you. I'm Reverend Mitzi, and welcome to Unity of Tempe. So Ron and I have a lot of books. In fact, we have 17 bookcases full. And we've instituted a moratorium on bringing more books into our home, agreeing to do so only if they are in digital form, because we have a lot of Kindle books as well, or if the book happens to be one that just doesn't translate into digital form. Now, we have so many books because at one time before Ron and I were together, he had a used bookstore. And of course, I did a BA and an MA in English literature. And then I was a teacher. And then I went to ministerial school, all of which required a lot of books. That's right. Now, a fascinating thing about having so many books is that we often don't remember or even know what's on our bookcases. And that is what happened to me this past week as I was praying into what to deliver today for our ongoing theme in February, a spiritual journey of love. A book I didn't even remember having literally came to me, right? And that book is Life is for Loving by Eric Butterworth. Who has read this book? A few people. You know, Eric Butterworth was considered a legend in Unity. He was a Unity minister, and he also wrote 16 books, and he did so with practical insight and making complex metaphysical teachings simple and easier to understand. So today's message is based on the first chapter of this book, and we may revisit it further down the line again because there's a lot of wonderful things in this excellent small book. So I was really struck by it, by his introduction, where Butterworth writes, "Another book about love. What more is to say? What more is there to say? My answer is that," let's say this together, "with all the personal conflicts and frustrations and the world's wars and rumors of war, we obviously hadn't had enough to say about love. Or perhaps we simply haven't understood what love is." Anyone take a guess when this book was written? 1973. So, a lot has not really changed in 51 years, right? We're still going through all of this, probably even more intensely in some ways right now. So Butterworth goes on to say that the word love is more misused than any other word. So spiritually, what then is meant by the word love? Love is humankind's true nature, whether people realize it or not. And so the main work of our life is to remember our true spiritual nature, to remember our true spiritual nature and get on with the business of life, which is for loving. So hence the title of his book, Life is for Loving. Yet who of us at times can't relate to Charlie Brown's statement, "I love mankind. It's the people I can't stand." Butterworth says what is needed is not the concept of love, but a commitment to the activity of loving. Now, there are some great stories in this book because Butterworth is a wonderful storyteller. And one is about a young girl who's brought up in a home totally devoted to love. Her parents were devotees of the power of divine love. Sounds like us, doesn't it? It was the subject of much conversation. Now, whenever the girl had any type of problem, her mother would say, "Go read this pamphlet on divine love." And so the girl, well, she got sick and tired of hearing about divine love. She wanted someone to talk lovingly to her, be kind to her, be interested in her, But the mother, however, seemed incapable of actually loving. She could only talk about divine love. Now, love for many of us is mostly, or for most people, I should say, is mostly exterior oriented, rather than, as we know it to be in unity, one of our 12 innate, what? Spiritual powers. For most people, life is one long quest for love. Yet love is an inner power, and our need is to love, not to just find people to love us. So a shy little girl in an orphanage was viewed as a problem by the director, who was seeking to have her relocated. And there was a rule that any communication that went out from the children in the orphanage had to be approved first, before it could be sent out, before it could be mailed. And one day, the little girl reached through the gate railings that surrounded the property, and on a low-lying branch, she tucked a letter. Now, the director, seeing this, hurried down, because she knew that it was a violation of the rules. And as she ripped open the envelope, she read, "To anybody who finds this, I love you." Doesn't that give you chills? This little girl just wanted to share her love. So most people have been taught to think of love as a commodity rather than a divine process. And many people think their lives lack love because they haven't been loved. Yet it is not love that it is the great need. It is loving. Each of us is created in and out of love, and God is love in us. And each of us, every single one of us here, and all who aren't here, are the very activity of love. We get to decide whether we're going to share that or not. And if we have a feeling of love for another, who has feeling of love for another? Hopefully you all have a feeling of love for each other in here. It is because we have a sense of love within ourselves. We love that person through loving ourselves, which is why we started off this series with what? A message on self-love. If you didn't get to see it, I encourage you to watch that message. Now, as we are loving, it creates an environment in which others may find it easy to express and radiate love. And love is the process through which we express what our divine nature. Our divine nature. Love is the action of divine law. And our capacity to love, this is so important. Eric Butterworth repeats himself a lot, but it's so important. He says our capacity to love is directly dependent upon our ability to what? Love ourselves. Love is not something to get from people or even God, for we are already created in and of love. Nor is it something we can ever lack, because it is who we are at our core. Now, we can look around at the world and we can see all sorts of shenanigans and bad behavior going on, let's be honest, in politics and all sorts of things. But basically, a lot of this stems from people feeling they have to get their self-worth from something other than within themselves. Agreed? They're looking for love, and they can look for love in negative ways as well. We can see this playing out on the world stage. And those people, many people spend their lives trying to find love, but love is not to be found, for it is already within us. Say this with me. Love consists not in finding the right person, but in becoming the right person, in being the right person. Now, in the wedding ceremonies that I do, this is always in there, because you can't expect anyone to get you 100%. So this is in being the right person. Loving ourselves is knowing who and what we are and rejoicing in it. And loving our neighbors is accepting what they are, which is possible only as we accept who we are. If we do not love ourselves, we are not centered in the reality of ourselves. And let's be honest. I mean, sometimes we don't love ourselves fully, right? Anyone they love themselves so fully every single day they never doubt. No, at times we don't. But this is really important. We are not letting ourselves be love when we don't fully love ourselves. We're dependent for security on whether some other person acts lovingly to us. Wow. That's huge. That is huge right there. So Butterworth has a short story about Bayard Rustin. Who knows about Bayard Rustin? Yeah. So he was a prominent leader in social movements for civil and gay rights. He's best remembered as the principal organizer of the March on Washington in 1963. Yeah, I'm going to get to that. Yes, but let's do it now. There is an excellent movie. Who's seen it? Rustin on Netflix. I didn't know anything about him, and it was phenomenal. So Netflix, part of our education for Black History Month. I encourage you to watch this. It is heartbreaking, but it is also uplifting and inspiring. Rustin. And the actor who plays him really does an outstanding. He's up for Best Actor. I think, okay, I'm just going to take a moment to say this. Okay, I really think that it should be up for a Best Picture category instead of Poor Things. Now, I've seen all the Oscar movies apart from 2 that are up for Best, and that's just my thought. So, anyways, Rustin was a Quaker, and he once stated that among principal factors that influenced his life were nonviolent tactics, democratic process, and a belief that all people are one. Sounds like us, right? So Butterworth says that once while riding in an elevator in Spokane, Rustin was ordered by a white man to lace up the man's shoelaces. And without objection or hesitation, Rustin did as he was ordered. And the man then handed him a tip. And Rustin said, I didn't do it for money. I thought you really needed help. And the man was embarrassed and apologetic and invited Rustin to his room, and they had a meaningful exchange on the subject of human relations. Now, Butterworth states that Rustin could have taken objection, he could have taken offense, and he could have acted in hostility. However, knowing himself as a being of love, which Rustin did, he could love his neighbor as himself, for he loved and respected himself. So like Rustin, we face many decisions every day of how we're going to respond to someone who cuts us off in traffic, or someone who's rude to us, or a comment on Facebook. We have those same opportunities, not the exact same opportunities, but we have opportunities every day, whether we're going to respond from the human perspective or whether we're going to take the higher road. True love is not transactional. Now, Shakespeare talks about this in Sonnet 116. I was just going to read one line from it, but it's Shakespeare. And I love Shakespeare, and I love this sonnet. So you're going to, sadly, hear it all from me. I put it up here. So it's only 16 lines. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no. It is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. And see, these love is not love which alters when it alterations finds, that it's steadfast. Like the God's love in us, it's not changeable because we get grinkles. We love someone through all of the days, through all of the times. Outer-centered love says, I loved this person with all my heart, but after what they did with me, after what they did to me, I hate them with a passion. Jesus said, this is my commandment, that you love one another. Now this can be nigh on impossible without aligning with and living from our spiritual principles, without connecting with the God, the love within us. Why? Why can it be so hard? Because people, right? People. Because people do things that are not loving. And why do they do things that are not loving? Because they're not aware of the spirit of love that is within the core of their being. And why are they not aware of the spirit of love that is within the core of their being? Because of past hurts and rejections and fears and all of that stuff. And this is why it's so important to share our community with others. It's not just about us feeling good on each Sunday. It's about loving other people enough in our community so that they can begin to love themselves and then go out and share that love. So we don't have a big muck up like we are having right now in the world, that we can have more people that fully know and love ourselves. That's unity about, so that we can reveal truth in the world of love. Last week, I shared Reverend Dr. James Shazos, the gift of love process, which supports us in alignment with the love that is within ourselves. If you didn't get a card or you want some more, I have some extras here. And Michelle Bondra asked for a bunch. She's going to give them out to people. That's her gift of love this February and beyond. Yes. And Maria told me after service that I forgot to mention it's really a great thing to practice this process every day. And if you have some really challenging situations or people in your life, sometimes we all do, right? To practice it many times a day, because it can take practice. Butterworth has another process, and he suggests taking a love walk, which is something Ron and I do frequently in our neighborhood. And as much as possible, make contact with every person and every lovely animal around as well in a loving way. Last night we were on a walk and there was a beautiful little puppy to love, and people as well. Look beyond appearances to see their true selves from the consciousness of love. And I can attest that Ron and I have met people in our own neighborhood and struck up friendships and conversations with people that are very different to us. They don't have the same ideals and values and things, but we are connected in love with them. Loving one another is about slowing down enough to behold love and worth in everyone. Now, Butterworth shares this really great story about how a man was rushing through a busy train station, I believe in Chicago, and he came across a crippled beggar sitting with pencils and a cup. And following, you wouldn't say crippled, you would say, what would you say? Physically challenged. So please excuse me because I'm reading, this is what he wrote, although I changed the language a lot, I forgot that one. So following this man's charitable instinct, he dropped a coin in the cup and he hurried on. And a few steps later, a flash of clarity stopped him short as he pondered the significance of his act. Retracing his steps, he addressed the man saying, I want to apologize to you. I treated you like a beggar, but really you are a merchant. He stopped and he took a pencil and then he marched off towards his train. And this spontaneous act had implications far more reaching than at the time he realized. Now, 2 years later, the same man was again rushing through the same train station. And as he hastened through, he heard a voice calling out, "Hey, hey, mister! Mister!" And so he turned around and he recognized the same crippled man. But now he was seated on a high stool, working as the owner of a bustling newspaper stand. And the man said, "You probably don't remember me, but I will never forget you. You treated me as a person. And for the first time in my life, I realized I could make something of myself. I've now found a way to be self-supporting, but most of all, I have self-respect." I love that story so much, about how the man had this flash of insight. In the Brothers Karamazov, Dostoevsky writes, well, I don't have it. Oh, there we go. It writes, let's read it together. "Love all of God's creation, the whole and every grain of sand in it. Love every leaf, every ray of God's light, the animals, the plants, everything. If you love everything, you will perceive the divine mystery of things. Once you perceive it, you will begin to comprehend it better every day. And you will come to love the whole world with a love that will be all-embracing and universal." Remember that word universal. Hold on to it, because we're going to hear something about universal love shortly. Let us close our eyes. Oh, wait, one little thing. As we do this, beloveds, along with Charlie Brown, we will declare, "I love mankind." But unlike him, we will add, "And I love all people as I love myself." I am loving to everyone whose path crosses mine, even if I don't think that that person deserves my love. For life is for loving, and I am a channel for the expression of infinite love of God. Let's say together, I am a channel for the expression of the infinite love of God. I am a channel for the expression of the infinite love of God. I am a channel for the expression of the infinite love of God. Loving God, we're so grateful to be channels of that infinite love of God. Divine Spirit, may we always remember in our hearts, in our minds, and in our very core of our being that we are love. That is who we are. We are love. And so we can never miss love or be looking for love because it is within us. And as we share that love out in the world with each person that we meet in the highest and best possible way, it doesn't mean letting people off the hook or condoning things that are horrible. It just simply means coming from the highest place within us, to see each and every person as one, and knowing that people who are behaving abominably are really in a desperate cry out to know that they are loved within their own hearts. And so, Divine Spirit, guide us who we can bring into our circle of love to help them know that they are so loved, that they might be able to share love out in the world. Because peace begins with us. Love begins with us. In every interaction that we have, in every single moment of the day, be it on social media, be it in person, be it on the phone, be it in an email or a text, guide us, Divine Spirit, to recognize our truest, highest calling, that life is for loving. And we know that, Divine Spirit, that sometimes we will fail miserably and we might want to beat ourselves up about it. And then we'll remember that it is by beating ourselves up being loving. And so we'll simply breathe into that space and say, Divine Spirit, guide me to be an expression of infinite love. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for every day that we wake up and have another opportunity to love and to be loving. And so it is, Divine Spirit. We know this prayer is answered and heard in the highest possible way. We release, we let go, and know it is so. Amen. And so I have a song from a young man who grew up in Phoenix. His name is James Austin Murray, better known as Jam. And he knew at a young age that he had a desire to inspire others through music. And a friend of mine, Charlene, who often comes here, she knows him personally because he was going to Phoenix, what is it called? Phoenix Community College? No, it's Paradise Valley Community College. And he focuses his creativity on bringing out the best in the world through the songs he writes.
Open your mind to heal this world. Universal love is what it's all about. Open your eyes to what is real. Universal love is what is seen throughout. Need an antidote to keep us afloat, moving towards the future. Good things come and we need them sooner. Smile towards the clouds, obstacles all around. There's a blessing in them, time will show how to heal the conundrum. There's no coincidence in life, it's all planned to coincide. Open your mind to heal this world. Universal love is what it's all about. Open your eyes to what is real. Universal love is what is seen throughout. It's universal love, it's universal love. It's universal love, it's universal love. This world needs your medicine. It's in your heart and it's in your grin. Let it all flow downstream. Love is your guide leading out of this dream. Take the rivers as far as you can. The path is the goal in creation's hands. It's all love before your eyes. Embody the sun and help others rise. Open your mind to heal this world. Universal love is what it's all about. Open your eyes to what is real. Universal love is what is seen throughout. It's universal love, it's universal love. It's universal love, it's universal love. Yeah.
Isn't it wonderful to see such a young person just really getting it and singing about that and making that his songs? I think it is. Anyone else, right? It is. I mean, I just think he's quite a remarkable young man. Charlene was really very impressed with him. It's James Austin Murray, known as Jam, and that song is Universal Love. Yes, and it's on YouTube, so you can find it there. Beautiful song. Yes, it doesn't have a lot on there, but this one really struck out to me. So let us breathe into this. I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. And so it is time for us to share our blessings. And so we say as we share our blessings, we know that that is what makes Unity of Tempe possible. Without you, we can't be here, without our blessings and our tithes. And so I invite you to take it in your hand and place your other hand over it, whether you're doing it on phone, and say, I give my tithes and offerings to God, and I reap 1,000,000-fold. Know that it is coming back to you in amazing ways. As we give, we share, we express that divine essence. And we say together, I am a joyful sharer of my good. I remember that as I give, I receive, and that God is my source. And I also, you can start share. I also want to remind you too, if this is your spiritual home or whether you're watching online, you can also give, because we have a way to give, Zelle and PayPal, and we encourage you to give online. And if we're not here, we can also contribute by doing this online as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, we bless every prayer also that has ever been in the prayer box or ever will be in the prayer box. And if you have something to add, we have prayer sheets at the back and also with Kent, I believe. And so we bless the giver and the receiver and the stewardship of the use. We bless all of you online who are also contributing. We bless and accept and know that you are also magnificently blessed. We bless every prayer. We bless every person watching. We bless us here. We bless those who couldn't be with us today. And we see our community filled with love. And we are guided to know how we can grow our community to share the love that is within us out in the world. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Yes. So thank you for the contributions. And next Sunday is our intentional food drive. Thank you for Joe for bringing some in already. We have some at home as well. And non-perishable items, please, only. Our annual general meeting will be Sunday, March 3rd after service. And your presence is requested for this. Yes, we're very excited about that. And just remember that you are important. You matter. You make a difference. If you see someone who's not here if you notice someone's not here, if you see someone who's not here, I see you, Glenda. I see you, MGM. If you see that someone is not here and you know how to reach them, reach out and say, I miss you. I love you. We need you because we are one. Our spiritual family isn't the same when you're not here. You're loved, you're valued, you're important. So be with us next week. We're going to wrap up this series on love. Who's enjoyed this series on love? I love love. It's probably one of my favorite topics, if not the favorite, to talk about. So we're going to wrap this series up. We're going to bring it to a conclusion. And as I say, if you've missed any of the talks, feel free to catch them online, unityoftempe.org. Life-changing stuff. And I'm not saying that because I created the messages. I'm saying it because I need it. We teach what we need to remember as well. So let us say together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well, and we are grateful. Beloveds online, have a wonderful week, and we do hope that you join us in person very soon.